Hello everyone, welcome to Answer Kari. So we'll continue dealing with the questions of HCF and LCM. And this particular question here says the product of two two-digit numbers is 2160 and their highest common factor is 12. The numbers are. So basically this question is very simple. We just need to remember that formula. And the formula says that, for example, the product of two numbers, any two given numbers, for example, these numbers are x and y, their product will be equal to the product of the highest common factor of x and y and the least common multiple of these two numbers x and y. यानी कि अगर इन्हीं दो numbers का हम simply product करें and हम इनका HCF निकालें and LCM निकालें and उन दोनों का product करें, so the product of HCF and LCM will be equal to the product of the original numbers that we have. So here they are saying that the product of two-digit numbers is 216. So अगर हम इस equation में put करें, we can write here 2160 and their highest common factor is 12. So we can assume this to be highest common factor and here we'll write the LCM. We can write the LCM here, right? So we'll find the LCM here. But what they are asking is what the numbers are. कि हमें number बताने हैं कि x और y है क्या? What are the values of x and y? So we can solve this question by options as well. For example, here it's given that the product is this. So first we'll try to check the product. Okay, out of these options, how many such options are there whose product is this? So एक information तो ये है. And if we check out of these, for example, 12 multiplied by 60 will not be equal to 2160. It is pretty evident because the unit digit will be 20. Like the unit digit will be 0 and the tens digit will be equal to 2. But here the tens digit is equal to 6. So in the second option, if we check, it will be equal to 6 and then again we'll have 21. Which means that this can be an option. Then here if we check again, if we multiply this, so we'll get 36 and then 6 is 18. So again this can also be an option because the product of these two numbers is equal to 2160. If we focus upon the fourth option, if we multiply 72 by 6, so their product will obviously not be equal to 2160, which means this option is also cancelled. Now the other information that we have is that the highest common factor of both these numbers is equal to 12, which means that both these numbers, any of these numbers can either be 12 or it can also be a multiple of 12, right? Both these numbers are for sure. So checking with the options here, one option this we have left and another is the third option. Checking for the second option, see, 30 is not a multiple of 12. So it is not possible that the highest common factor of both these numbers will be equal to 12. But 36 and 60 both are multiples of 12, which means that C will be the correct option for this particular question. Taking up the next question, find the least number which when divided by 16, 18, 20 and 25 leaves remainder 4. And in each case, but when divided by 7 it leaves no remainder. So basically they are saying that we need to find the least number. अब least number की बात हो रही है and that too they are saying which when divided by. So which means here this question talks about LCM. Now they are saying that find the least number which when divided by 16, 18, 20, 25 it leaves remainder 4 in each case, but when divided by 7 leaves no remainder. So 7 का case we'll get onto this later, but first we'll try to understand कि वो जो number होएगा that will be divisible by 16, 18, 20 and 25 with the remainder as 4. What will be the form of that number? So since we're talking about least number, first we'll try to find out the LCM of 16, 18, 20 and here we have 25. So 16 can be written in the form of 2 raised to the power 4. Then 18 we can write as 3 raised to the power 2, that is 9 multiplied by 2. Then 20 we can write in the form of, for example, 2 raised to the power 2 multiplied by 5. And 25 we can write in the form of 5 raised to the power 2. So these are the forms that we can write these numbers into. So the bases are prime number. Now we'll find the LCM in this case. So LCM will be equal to first 2 raised to the power 4 multiplied by 3 raised to the power 2. Then we have again 5 raised to the power 2. So these are the three numbers. So basically we need to multiply 9, 16 and 25. And after multiplying, the result that we will receive will be equal to 3600, which means that the LCM of these numbers is equal to 3600. But what we are saying is that the remainder should be equal to 4, which means that we need to add 4 into this. But the question also says that when this particular number that will be formed, it should also be divisible by 7, which means that there should be no remainder left when we divide this particular number by 7. Now we'll write the form of this number. For example, this particular number, which will give us no remainder when we divide it by 7, it will be equal to 3600 multiplied by x, which means that ये जो portion होएगा ना, this portion will be a multiple of 3600. इसका बेसिकली ये मतलब है, और अगर ये 3600 का मल्टीपल होएगा तो it will definitely mean that this particular number, whole number, will be divisible by this, क्योंकि ये इसी का ही तो मल्टीपल है, right? So this was the least number that these numbers will be divisible by. But if we keep on multiplying 3600 by any other number here, for example, we'll put on values here, so all these numbers will be divisible by that itself. Plus we need to add 4 into this. अभी हम ऐड नहीं कर रहे because obviously we do not know what will be the value of x here, because यहाँ पे 7 का केस आ गया ना. If the case of 7 was not written here, then the answer would have directly been 3604. But here they are saying that the number should also be divisible by 7 and should leave no remainder. So here separately ये है, that is why we have put up this case here. So now we'll work on with the trial and error method. So here we'll try to put in values of x and then we'll check कि क्या वो चीज़ divisible है 7 से या नहीं, the whole number particularly. So first if we take up the value of x as 1, now obviously we'll start with 1 because 1 is basic, 0 से हम नहीं कर सकते, otherwise the number will be just 4, तो ये तो possible ही नहीं है. So अगर हम 1 से start करते हैं, the number will be equal to 3604. So in this case, now to check the divisibility of 7 in case of x is equal to 1, divisibility of this number by 7 in case of x is equal to 1. So then the number will be equal to 3604. And that's how do we check the divisibility by 7? We'll double this number 4 and then we'll subtract it from the rest of the number, जो भी rest बचा है. So then here we'll receive 352. But हमें 352 का भी नहीं पता कि क्या ये divisible है या नहीं. तो again we'll take the last number and then we'll subtract it, उसका double यानी कि double of 2, जैसे यहाँ पे हमने double of 4 किया था. तो वैसे ही in this case and then we subtracted it from 360, right? तो वैसे ही हम यहाँ पे करेंगे. So we'll be left with 31. अब 31 हमें पता है is not a multiple of 7, which means that this particular number, that is 3604, will not be divisible by 7. So, in such a way, we'll check it by 2 as well. For example, if we multiply this particular whole number by 2, then it will become, so it will be 6000 plus 1200, so it will be 7200. And plus we have 4, so it will be 7204. And then if we check for this, so again we will subtract 8 from it, and then what we'll receive will be equal to 712. And then we'll subtract 4 from 71, and then we'll get 67. So again 67 is not a multiple of 7, which means that it will not be, this particular number, that is 7204, will not be divisible by 7. So ऐसे करके we'll keep on checking and then we'll reach up to 5. कि जो 5 है ना, उससे जब हम मल्टीप्लाई करते हैं, then the number that we receive here will be equal to 18000, and then plus we'll add 4 here, so it will become 18004, which means that this is the particular number which will be divisible by all these numbers and will give the remainder 4 after we divide this particular number by all these numbers. But if we divide this number by 7, then we receive no remainder, or perhaps the remainder is equal to 0. So the answer for this question will be equal to 18004. So focusing upon the next question, this question says area of 3 fields is 165 meter square, 195 meter square and 85 meter square. So basically we have 3 fields. अब हमें इनकी shape नहीं पता, whether they are rectangle, क्या है square. Square तो क्या हो नहीं सकता because none of these are square numbers. But we do not know their exact measurements. But all we know is that their area, कि उनका area क्या है. So suppose we draw here this particular So it will be 165 meter square. The area of this particular shape will be 165. Then हम थोड़ी सी बड़ी draw कर देते हैं. So here we'll have one which will have 195 meter square of area, right? And then we can draw another one which will have approximately 85. So now this has 85 meter square of area. So after drawing these three, we know that there are three fields. Okay, respectively, we have drawn just for the sake of understanding. Then they say in each of these fields, a flower bed of equal length has to be made. If the flower bed in each of the fields is 3 meter wide, then what is the maximum length of the flower bed in each of the fields? So basically they are saying that, see, the first thing they have said is that the flower bed, all the flower beds that we need to draw in these three fields, their length should be same. तो length इन्होंने define कर दी कि जो length है ना वो equal होनी चाहिए. So length of the flower bed they have defined कि वो equal होएगी हर उसकी flower bed की. Then in the next line they say if flower bed in each of the fields is 3 meter wide. 3 मीटर वाइड है वो, तो उन्होंने इनकी विड्थ भी बता दी, राइट, कि इसकी ब्रेथ कितनी होगी. तो अगर लेंथ और ब्रेथ दोनों सेम होंगी तो ऑब्वियसली जो पूरा ये फ्लावर बेड है इसका एरिया भी डेफिनेट रहेगा. यानी कि जो ये एरिया ऑफ द फ्लावर बेड इट विल बी सेम इन ईच ऑफ द केस. यानी कि हमें ऐसे फ्लावर बेड्स चाहिए विच हैव द सेम एरिया और जो इन सब में फिट हो पाए, राइट. सो हियर वी ड्रॉ सपोज दिस काइंड ऑफ अ फ्लावर बेड. तो यहाँ पे अगर ये फ्लावर बेड है तो अगर इतने साइज के यहाँ पर इफ सपोज 12 फ्लावर बेड आ सकता है तो ज़रूरी नहीं है ना कि दिस पर्टिकुलर फ्लावर बेड ये कम्प्लीटली आ पाए. यानी कि कितने भी नंबर में अगर हम इनको लेते हैं तो इतने ही एरिया के कम्प्लीटली आ पाए इस पर्टिकुलर शेप में और इस पर्टिकुलर फील्ड में भी, बिकॉज वी डू नॉट नो कि ये एग्जैक्टली फिट हो पाएगा या नहीं. सो वट विल डू इज नो ऑब्वियसली द फ्लावर बेड विल हैव एन एरिया. सो बेसिकली दिस इज अ कंसेप्ट ऑफ HCF. तो इसमें हमें हाईएस्ट कॉमन फैक्टर निकालना है इन तीनों फील्ड्स के एरिया का, और फिर उस हाईएस्ट कॉमन फैक्टर जो होएगा ना वो होएगा एरिया ऑफ वन फ्लावर बेड. तो वो एक फ्लावर बेड का एरिया हमारे पास आ जाएगा. एंड आफ्टर दैट वी फोकस अपॉन द लेंथ एंड दिस ब्रेथ रेशो. तो फर्स्ट विल फाइंड आउट द HCF. सो वी हैव नंबर्स हियर 165, then we have 195 and then we have 85. So if we try to solve for this, तो ये हो जाएगा 5 multiplied by 3 and then we'll be left with 3. Then this will be 5 multiplied by, so again we'll have 315, then we'll have 139 and this will be equal to 17.5. तो इसका तो complete हो गया, दोनों हमारे पास प्राइम नंबर्स आ गए. इनका अगर हम फर्दर सॉल्व करें तो ये हो जाएगा 3 multiplied by 11, तो अगेन हमें प्राइम नंबर्स मिल गए दो. एंड हियर दिस विल बी इक्वल टू 3 and then 13. अब इनमें से अगर हम कॉमन चेक करें सो सी 165 में we have 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 11. We are just taking the prime numbers, right? And 195 के केस में we have 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 13. In case of 85 we have 5 multiplied by 70. In case में common क्या है? The only thing that's common in all these three numbers is equal to 5. तो यानी कि 5 will be the highest common factor, which means that the area of one flower bed should be equal to 5 meter square. तो एक फ्लावर बेड का हमें एरिया पता लग गया कि वो होना चाहिए 5 meter square if we want to fit these flower beds in all these three fields. And now see अगर उसको equal करना है so obviously we have the breadth as 3, तो हमें लेंथ पता लगानी है कि लेंथ क्या आएगी. Since उन्होंने maximum length of the flower bed पूछा ना, so this is very basic formula like length into breadth will be equal to the area. तो यहाँ पे हमें लेंथ फाइंड आउट करनी है, so length will be equal to 5 divided by 3. Now this will be somewhere near to 1 point and then we have like 6 something. So now here they are saying what is the maximum length of the flower bed in each of the following fields. तो यहाँ पे the answer will be none of these because 1.6 से कुछ भी match नहीं कर रहा है यहाँ पे, which means that this will be the answer to this question.